Welcome, once again. It's the Neon Nightcast podcast time. I am your host, Michael Thrax. And I am
Why can't I be a host? No, I'm the host this week, all right? This week,
I am joined by
I'm joined by
Garrett Zagri and
Michael Thrax
Eric the Dr. Soybean.
and Eric Dr. Soybean.
Good response.
Yeah,
Great.
Thanks for that, Eric.
Yeah, we were waiting for your thing, and
Because that was a really weird intro. So
I wanna be the host now.
we
I'm tired of Mike just always thinking he's the greatest out there. I want to be the host this time.
the hostess with the mostess.
I'm
Anyways,
your host Malone.
we're back. It's episode 3 of season 2. And
Yeah.
let's jump into it. I have now this is a term that's thrown around a lot lately in pop culture and stuff, and I think it's unfair how it's used now because people just jump from the next to the next to the next. But I want to know who is your waifu? Who is your forever waifu? Did you like that? Did you think I was going to do something serious?
Anyway, that's how you spell it.
kind of.
I just spelt it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Discord.
Yeah,
I just you spelt it wrong.
I know.
So I just wanna
we
make
already
sure you
talked
spelt
about
it.
that.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know who my waifu would be.
Well, okay, I can get
Trying to
this.
think of all the animes I've watched
Well,
and all the games I've played.
I bring it up because all the time when a new show or a new video game comes out, everyone just goes, "Oh, that's my waifu," or "That's waifu. She's waifu."
That's what I want to be.
But it
I feel
used to
like-
be that people would just connect to just one character, and that was like their waifu. But now it's such like a... It just kind of has a whole different meaning, I think. It's like best girl
Well,
on
every
the
time a new-
show.
Yeah, every time a new show comes out, everyone's like, "That's my waifu."
Yeah. So I can start us off because I recently got a very expensive tattoo done on myself.
Oh,
Of,
look at this guy. He's so rich.
Well, I didn't want to spend that much money, but whatever. Pay for quality. But I got Princess Garnet, or Dagger, as she's also known from Final Fantasy IX. She always stuck out in my childhood, and still as an adult. Pretty easy answer for me.
See, like, I don't have anything from my childhood that I can really attach myself. Like, no female protagonist like that from my childhood that I can, attach myself to. The only ones I can really think of are maybe some League of Legends champions.
Okay.
So then, like, maybe Ash from League of Legends. But then, I mean, I don't know. I don't really.
So
I don't think I'd associate anyone as a waifu.
you're one of these guys that jumps around then.
I don't even jump around. I don't have one. Is the
What about you, Eric? It's Twilight, right?
Well,
Twilight
in 2000
sparkles.
In 2018, I think it's kind of outdated to have a waifu. You should have a harem. But no, I don't really have one either. To be honest, I guess I've never really.
Mike, can you just go look at like some dagger doujins or hentai and just get off every time? Is that
Not every time, but always works.
But is that-
always works in a bind. Let's say.
is that your go-to?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. See, I don't know. I don't really have one.
If I'm in the mood for like hentai or something, then, and I can't really find anything new, then, yeah.
Do you have like certain dagger ones or Princess Garnet ones just saved on your computer?
Oh, I have things saved from all varieties.
But
But
do you
let's.
have like a special one for Princess Garnet?
No. I didn't really want to dwell on this too long, so let's.
You brought it up, and I'm just.
It was mostly
questions.
a joke topic, but and you guys didn't really have anything to add to it, so.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Shit happens,
Yeah,
Mike.
let's move on. There's something else going on in the news. Well, you brought it up in our Discord, but the NFL kneeling during the anthem, that's back.
Well, it is back because the NFL leaders, what's his name? Roger Goodell, basically came out and said, kneeling during the flag is bad or something. I forgot what he said. Damn it. I can't remember exactly what he said. But I basically said that we understand that some players are using this as a protest. They're not like disrespecting the flag. We understand that it's not a disrespect the flag thing.
Yeah.
But all teams will stand during the national anthem, and if you don't want to stand, you may stay in the locker room. So you don't have to appear until after the national.
Okay.
Well, my take. Sorry, go on.
No.
Well, I was just gonna say my take is, without really knowing that much about it, you probably just have to follow the money, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a lot of people stopped watching and going to NFL games because of that whole controversy. And
I'm not sure if people stopped going or stopped. Well, I know. Oh God, this was so fucking cringe. During what's the holiday in November? Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
During Thanksgiving, I was at my dad's family's house. And yeah, they were watching the football game, and then they saw someone kneeling. They're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch this shit if someone's kneeling." And I'm just like, I wanted to speak up, but
yeah,
but like, see, there's a thing like with family, it's so hard to just be like, stop being a fucking idiot.
Well,
because like, I just like, how the fuck does it affect you? Like, I would say kneeling is more respectful than fucking standing.
Yeah,
like,
I don't see
when
how
you kneel to someone, you're like giving them all due respect. Like, you're giving them so much respect.
Yeah,
by kneeling.
you would kneel to like kings and queens and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So the whole
kind
thing,
of weird.
The two things about it for me, it's like I'm not American, I'm Canadian, and I don't think we have the same amount of pride for the flag as you
our
guys.
Patriotism is fucking.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Our like,
it's like
sense of nationality.
You're like blinded by it.
Because like the United States, like you're taught as a kid in the United States, oh, if the flag touches the ground, you got to burn it. But then it's like,
yeah,
why? Yeah. Fucking piece of cloth. Why would you give something so much reverence that if it touches the fucking ground,
I didn't even know that.
Burn it. Like, that's what I was taught as a kid.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm just like nowadays, I'm like, if it touches the ground, it fucking touches the ground.
And then the second thing is like, yeah, like the kneeling thing. It's not like he's like giving the middle finger, or he's like dancing, or he's sitting down.
Yeah, Kaepernick originally started it to protest racial racial abuse from like people in authority, like police officers and law enforcement officials and stuff like that.
And now it's like this whole just thing that's not even about it.
Well, it is. Everyone that kneels is still doing it for those reasons, to protest racial inequalities. But all the white people that don't understand the inequality towards minorities think that they're being unpatriotic and that they're not respecting the country that they live in, and that's given them this opportunity to play in the NFL.
Even if they were being unpatriotic, like it's their right. It's in like your.
But see, that's where we get to an iffy spot.
It's your right to protest. What is it called? The Declaration of Independence?
No, the Bill of Rights.
Bill of
Like,
Rights. Yeah.
the First Amendment, the freedom of speech.
So yeah, freedom of speech, freedom to protest. So
Yeah. But see, that's where we get into another issue: is do these clubs, these football teams, do they have the right to then fire players that are kneeling?
no,
Why not?
because it's just kneeling for a fucking song. That's all it is.
But it's putting a bad image on your company, and your company, your brand is being damaged by this. So it would.
Well,
it
depends on how their contract's written.
That's true,
Basically.
but see, what would prevent them from being able to fire these people? I mean, I'm with the people that are kneeling. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand that there are like inequalities in America, but I'm also on the side of, well, if you get fired, that's unfortunate because you're doing it for you're doing something for a good cause.
Yeah.
But I feel like the clubs still do have the power to fire you. Like they still can fire you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it really depends on what's written in their contract. If it's specified in their contract that they're not supposed to do any sort of like protest in any way, then
now it's a policy that you have to stand, otherwise the club will get fined. And
that's why I
if you don't
think
want to stand, you just stay in the locker rooms.
that's why I think that like there's this whole thing. I doubt it's actually going to happen, but years ago, Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWE, created his own football league as competition to the NFL called the XFL, and it failed spectacularly. But when this whole thing about the kneeling thing first came out, it came out that he was
like saying he's going to start it back up.
Right, yeah. He was saying he was going to start it back up, and the reason is that basically he said that like if he started it up, one of the rules would be that there would be like no politics of any kind allowed whatsoever in the league. Because I think a lot of people are not even necessarily just tired of like what this particular protest. I think a lot of people are sick of having politics involved in fucking everything. Like even me, as somebody who enjoys politics and political discussion, it's like in this day and age, can we have fucking anything that doesn't have politics of some kind forced into it? And I'm not even saying I'm necessarily, you know, that I don't think this kneeling thing, to me, that's not a big deal. But I'm just saying in general, like I understand what he's saying, that like there's a huge subsection of the population where regardless of what their political views are, you know, left or right, libertarian, whatever, a lot of people just like they miss being able to turn on entertainment and being entertained without being fucking lectured all the time.
Yeah. Which really, like, yeah, like, right, like I understand, you know, them wanting to protest something, and this is how they can do it because this is when they are in the limelight or the public's eye or whatever. But at the same time, yeah, you're tuning in to watch fucking football.
I agree, but this is shit that's affecting them personally. So
is it really affecting a guy who's paid, you know, $70 million a year to throw a ball around?
That doesn't mean he before he could have been affected by this. He might not have always been rich. Like a lot of these players that come up into the NFL, they weren't born rich. Like they were talented sports individuals. So yes, they were affected by this. And again, like I don't know. I was
right, but if the society was as bad as some of them make it out to be, would they have ever even had an opportunity to make $70 million to throw a ball around?
I think so. Like, I don't think they're portraying that it's like hell on earth, but they are saying that they're not being treated the same as other people.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Well, but then we also like, can we bring up the issue that is it morally right for any society to pay people who play make believe for a living, or who throw a ball around for a living, to pay them ridiculous, insane amounts of money, where scientists and doctors make
economics isn't moral
pennies?
though. Like that's the thing. Money doesn't follow morals. Like people pay for what they want to see.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you in that sense. I'm just saying that there's a lot of there's a lot more issues in the world. Like these days, it seems like everything just boils down to race. That's like the new obsession. Everything's about race all the time.
Well, what was it about before? Because race is an actual problem. So that's why you hear about it all the time. Because people are being treated differently because of their race.
Well, again, that's very American centric too. Like the world is a big fucking place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people in a lot of different corners of the world that are treated in various different ways. And if you look at it on a global scale, like, I'm sorry to blow everybody's minds out there, but if you really compare on a global scale to how minorities are treated in America versus the way minorities are treated in most countries, I can guarantee you America is pretty fucking high up there on the list in terms of like comparatively how well they're treated. Because in a lot of countries, like you look at former Yugoslavian countries, for example, these are people who all look the same. They're all white, but purely based on things like their ethnicity and their last name, they're treated vastly like the way Serbs are treated in Kosovo and the way Bosniaks are treated in Serbia, for example. Far worse than black people are treated in America. And these are people who have the same skin color.
People don't move to Serbia to like find wealth though. They come to the US to start a better life. And whenever, you're treated differently because of your race, I mean, that gets to you, like I still think that, yeah, they are using their platform because they were personally affected by these issues. So they're taking a stand against these issues because it's something very close to them. And this is the only way they can. Yeah. This is the only way they can get it out there.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think if you're a famous celebrity who's...
It's not the only way, but it's a good way to go about it. They definitely got attention. They are definitely raising awareness.
This is the best way for them to go about it. Like, to get this much attention on this for one person started kneeling, and then it became a huge debate.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, I would say like my personal view on it is it comes down to freedom of expression. So in that sense, I guess I don't really care what somebody does during an anthem. Well,
yeah, I don't know. I'm just talking about you. I'm talking about the people that are fucking snowflakes and are offended by someone kneeling.
Yeah, but everybody's a fucking snowflake these days. I mean, look at the universities where they make fucking safe space clubs where they outright say like white people aren't allowed to enter this fucking room. Like, you're telling me that's not a fucking snowflake?
I don't know. I'm skeptical.
If you want to be in a room where there's no white people, move to fucking Africa.
So, you know what I'm saying? You live in a country that's even places that are like that. So
you live in a country that's 70% white people. Why the fuck would you live there if you want to have zones where you can't fucking see white people?
I didn't even know.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even know.
I never got this whole thing now where it's like, oh, white people are so evil, but we want to live in countries they made and be surrounded by them. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if I like where this conversation's going.
Well, no,
it's just very controversial.
I know. I'm tired of everybody getting a bee in their fucking bonnet about fucking everything.
Yeah.
Like these people bitching about this guy kneeling in the fucking, I can't even think now, kneeling for the anthem. They're the spiritual kin of these fucking SJWs that set up their little safe spaces. They're the same.
No, it's not the SJWs.
It's the same type of mentality. It's the same exact type of mentality. Okay. The I'm entitled to go through life without ever seeing anything that personally offends me.
again, we've already been through this. We've talked about this before, and I think it's just because this is my argument before. They're young, they're passionate about something, and they don't think clearly about how it's going to look to everyone else. And as you grow up, as you like learn that, I don't know, I guess, fuck, what am I trying to say here? That once you mature, you realize that safe spaces aren't needed.
Yeah.
But again, these are like you said, these are happening on college campuses. They grow up, they leave their parents' house, they have their own ideas of what they think they can do to change the world. And yeah, they're going to be wrong a couple of times. But again, like, I think they'll grow out of it.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to just perpetuate
a lot of it. Yeah, it is just a phase, and it is like a thing. It's like trending. It's like cool to be kind of like this. And yeah, they will grow out of it. This will become unpopular, and we'll start going back to just being like, just kind of okay with people being people.
Yeah, I mean, I like normal human beings.
But we were never okay with people being people. Like,
it was different. It was different. There, like, I remember in the late '90s, there was like a slight movement where we were supposed to stop using like terms like retard and gay and midget and stuff, and it just wasn't. Those all were justified, of course, but it just didn't seem like it was really so forced down your face, or that you were.
It's not even about being forced down your face. It's like we've gone to the point now where it's like, instead of just trying to get people to like, people just can't. It's gone from like, you should treat these people the same or the way you'd like to be treated. What do we learn in school? The golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. Now the golden rule is treat people like shit if it's socially acceptable to do so.
Is that,
you know what I mean? Like in the 90s, there is truth to that, because again, like what Mike was saying in the 90s, you know, like, oh, these terms are offensive, don't fucking use them, right?
Yeah.
It was never, you know, oh, let's create a safe space where we can fucking be isolated from people who we don't agree with. Let's turn universities were founded on debate. So when the very first universities were created in Greece, people would sit around and debate shit. That's part of the reason why they were made.
Yeah.
The idea of having a university where you have certain topics that people are too sensitive that you can't even fucking debate them. That's not what a university is. That's not what it was made for.
I agree. Universities are supposed to have clashing ideas from all sides of everywhere.
All sides
like
of
people
life.
go on about diversity. What about intellectual diversity?
Yeah.
No, I'm right. I'm always right. Like, get on my side, or I mean, I guess you'll just live in ignorance.
I guess there's certain things like that you shouldn't entertain. The extreme viewpoints, like flat earthers, like actual literal racists. Like there are certain extremes that I think we can agree to, that, you know, aren't really worthy of debate. But that's not what's happening in the universities today.
Still, I think it's a fad, and I think that will go away, and we'll just kind of go back to just kind of being chill about this stuff. But right now,
I think a lot of just university, like, superiors, can't think of the other word, like university officials, they're like, well, this is new, let's try it out. Let's see how it works, because they're asking for it. So let's give them an opportunity to see how it works. And I'm not sure that it's been tested for long enough for them to just throw it out and say no safe space.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Anyways, I guess kind of in a way it comes down to this type of attitude I've noticed, this extremely millennial attitude, for lack of a better way to put it, where it's like, to give an example, like these people who are big now on having open relationships, non-monogamous relationships. So it's not enough for them that you accept that that's their lifestyle, and that you just say, you know, I don't give a fuck what you do. You're a free person. You can do whatever you want. They have to somehow make it seem as if you're bad or weird for not wanting to live like them. You know what I'm saying?
But again, I feel like a lot of this comes from religious background too, because their creator, their master of their universe said that's not allowed. You're supposed to have one person you're supposed to be with for your life. That's where, I mean, sure, some of it could come from, oh, that's not the way I live, so they can't do it, which is the most ignorant, stupid fucking point of view I could ever hear. But I feel like a lot of it does come from a religious background, because they sincerely think that they're doing the right thing by not allowing you to have a non-monogamous relation. Yeah. They sincerely think that they are helping your soul by forcing you into a monogamous relationship.
Yeah, no, I think this day and age, fucking basing anything on fucking religious terms is fucking stupid.
But I don't believe the solution then is to try and make it seem like, you know, you're the weird one for wanting to have a monogamous relationship.
I don't either. Like, to each his own. Like, yeah, that should be how. Like, if you want to do your shit, like, fine. Like, you go do it. I'll do my own shit. And we should each, as long as we're not hurting anyone, we're not hurting ourselves, everything should be fine.
Yeah. See, there's too much authoritarianism these days. Authoritarianism is the idea that basically everything has to be led by authority, essentially. Libertarianism is the opposite of that. The idea that, like, a human being it's individuality versus collectivism, essentially. And yes, everything has to be a balance, because we live in a society which is in itself collectivist. And, you know, nobody wants to go back to the days, except for the real nut jobs. Nobody wants to go back to the days where we lived in, you know, the jungles
where we hunt for our food.
Right, and every man for himself and shit like that. But there is something to be said for the libertarian ideal of essentially, I mean, as you said, to each his own. As long as you're not harming anyone else.
Yeah, there's a balance, because, like, again, this comes to government. Like, when does government need to take their hands out of it, and when does government need to, like, put boundaries on things?
Yeah.
Like, there's a balance there, and no one's found it yet, or we'd have a utopian society somewhere. But someday, we might find some balance between government regulations and keeping their nose out of things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's change on over. Let's bring it back a little bit to the more pop culture relation. And
what been over?
What is this you have written here, Garrett? Obama's ex Netflix.
Okay, so the Obamas actually signed a multi-year deal to produce or be on some Netflix shows. I'm not sure reality shows. It didn't say
are they
reality
actors?
So can I predict right now that no matter how bad this show is, if you don't like it, you're racist?
Oh no, that's not going to be it. I think it's going to be, if you like this, you're some super fucking lib, and if you don't like it, then you're some nut job conservative.
If you don't like it or you do like it, you're going to be wrong.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. One side's gonna be like, oh no, that was terrible, and the other side's gonna be like, this was made by God.
Yeah. So, this was the greatest thing in all existence.
Well, one thing that the people that never agreed with Obama are doing, they're starting to already cancel their Netflix and boycott Netflix because of this deal.
But like,
that's a little silly.
Like, you're so stupid.
I know, it's like,
just don't watch that show.
Exactly. It's just like, don't watch it. Like, they're gonna be like, they said, oh well, we're going to fucking Hulu now because Netflix, and like, it's like Hulu has plenty of fucking, I'm sure, liberal shows too.
Yeah. No. Hulu's gonna come out with a Donald Trump show.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll have a new Fox News and a new CNN.
Yeah.
They already had one. It was called The Apprentice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Trump's
But,
show.
isn't it Schwarzenegger now? Isn't he?
Oh, is it?
I think so, because whenever Schwarzenegger started, he got better view numbers than Donald Trump, I think. So he started, or no, maybe it was he got lower than Trump, and then Trump started like bashing him about it, and then eventually his numbers like either equaled with Trump or got higher than Trump, so he started bashing Trump about it.
I didn't even know that show was still going on.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
Huh. I remember in having business classes, and like they would just show us that show. That was a proper representation of like how business works.
That's not though. Anyway.
Well, that was a.
I had a class in high school. I don't even know what it was called. It's basically work class. You basically, I don't know. I got OSHA certified in that class, which is Occupational Safety Health Associate, something like that. Basically, it certifies that you can do you're a super safe worker because you've been authorized by the government or some shit.
Do you have WMIS?
No.
Huh.
Anyway, so
they have something similar, but yeah, go on.
During that class, I got OSHA certified, and we watched The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, and this was the first time I had ever seen Penn Jillette, and it changed my life because
you just fell in love right there.
At first I was like, because you got to pick which celebrity you wanted to like be on your team.
Yeah.
And everyone else had already picked. I think I got to choose between Clay Aiken or Penn Jillette.
Okay.
And because I think I joined the class late, and those are the only two that were still up. And I was like, I mean, Clay Aiken's okay, but I don't really like him. And I'm like, well, there's this fat dude with a ponytail. Kind of looks like a loser, but I guess I'll go with him anyway. And because he was tall, he was 6'7". So I was like, yeah, I'll go with the tall guy. And yeah, I picked Penn. He got second place. He got fucking second place. And he says the only reason he lost was because he said Trump's hair looks like cotton candy, or piss-flavored cotton candy.
Jesus.
And he said Trump straight up told him, yeah, your comment about my hair, that's why you lost. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's why I fell in love with Penn Jillette. I forgot where we were going with this.
Me
talking
too.
about The Apprentice, and then I got on my tangent about Penn Jillette. Penn Jillette, greatest, my favorite celebrity.
He's his idol.
Yeah, well, I was going to bring up about Netflix. I don't know the name of it, but they're producing some documentary about the whole Gawker fiasco that tries to portray Gawker as the victims.
How are they the victims?
Because they were ordered by a judge.
Fiasco.
When they obtained Hulk Hogan's sex tape illegally and
released it.
Yeah, and this documentary is trying to make it seem like, oh man, it's their free speech, man. But keep in mind, Gawker are the same people who basically, like, if you remember when the whole fappening happened and all these female celebrities had their nudes leaks? They're the same people.
I can thank for that.
No, they were the people who were telling us that if you looked at any of those, you were a misogynist. And
yeah, so they're just hypocrites.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like Hulk Hogan as a wrestler or as a human being, but I thought it was fucking awesome that he got those shitbags shut down.
Oh yeah, no, that's just the definition of being a hypocrite. Like
more than any other human trait, I despise fucking hypocrisy.
I think everyone
I don't
feels
like
the same way about hypocrisy.
I don't like
and
ignorance.
Those that commit hypocrisy and hate hypocrisy are just ignorant and don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the Gawker thing, like, how can you spin that? Like, we leaked someone's sex tape and then we got shut down. Like,
but again,
we're not the villains here.
How did they obtain it? I don't really know the story. I just know that
it was basically No. Like he had a privately filmed sex tape, okay?
Yeah.
And somebody sold it to Gawker without his permission or the permission of the woman in the tape.
Oh, okay. So I wonder how this third party got the tape to begin with.
There's always people like trying to hack.
Yeah, that
like
I
like
don't
the
know.
no, it's like the fappening, right? It's like they were hacked. So
It might have been
he was
like-
probably hacked.
Why would you put this on the internet? Why would you put this tape on the internet to begin with? Like,
I don't know, 'cause they're fucked in the head.
he emailed it or something. You know what?
Again, why?
I don't know. She's like, yo, you fucked me good last night. I like that porno. Send it to me.
Like,
Okay,
just
here you go.
fucking-
What's your email?
Okay,
Or
so
like,
no, it's-
let
it's
me
just
text
like-
it to you, and you know then it's up in the aether of the internet, and anyone
Just
get their
like-
hands on it.
Just
And the thing is,
physical
too,
copies. Don't make a fucking digital copy.
they were ordered by a judge to take it down, and they didn't, and that's when Hogan himself stepped in and sued them. So if they would have just taken it down when they were first ordered to,
So like, how are they gonna spin this that they are the fucking like victims here?
because like, oh, it's the freedom of the press, man. Yeah, it's the freedom of the press to host a sex tape of some washed up reality star that you obtained under fucking shady pretenses.
Yo,
Like,
it's
yeah,
just
you're
it's
really
one of these things.
You're really changing the world there. I can
It's-
see a Pulitzer Prize in the future for that.
It's one of these things that like either it's all okay or it's not all okay.
Right, and the fact that they were, anybody who looked at the fappening is a misogynist. By the way, do you want to see Hulk Hogan? By the way, I guess the woman in
I guess-
Hogan's sex tape, I guess she doesn't count.
She doesn't count as anything
Yeah.
because she's not a celebrity. She's just like a
Yeah.
woman. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
her, right?
She's just a.
She's got her
just a
trash.
tool. She's just a tool in the movie.
She's
Right.
She's not a victim. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Fuck
that-
you, Gawker.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
And fuck whoever this dickless little bitch is who's making this documentary.
Yeah.
Freedom of the press, man.
It's probably one of them, and they just want to like make fucking money.
Honestly, it probably is someone who was in with Gawker.
Like legit. I would put money on it. Fuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
So, anyways, that's just making me angry. So let's move on to. I didn't hear about this. Kid fined millions of dollars for a forest fire.
it. Oh Jesus, this one is.
What is?
All right, so there was a kid in Oregon, I think, and so there was a fire. I forgot when it was. Let me look. I'm just gonna talk about. Woohoo! I'm having fun, just doing things, and I'm looking.
Well,
up
I have a
Doing
kind of a
things.
similar story. While you
All
look
right,
it
yeah,
up.
do that real fast, and let me look this up real fast.
So where I live, I'm not going to say where I live, but where I live, a few years ago, kids were in a grocery store and they lit a bag of chips on fire. That then apparently bags of chips are really flammable, so that whole aisle caught on fire, and there was a huge fire in this fucking grocery store.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because
Jesus.
apparently bags of chips are really fucking flammable. It's like the oil on it or
Yeah, I was
something.
gonna say there's fat in them, so fat burn.
So yeah, it was just like this huge thing. I just remember like because it's
Do you know-
near
do you know
where
what
I
else?
work.
Do you know what
And-
else is also extremely combustible?
What?
What?
Powdered sugar and coffee creamer, like the powdered coffee creamer.
I've heard about that because in Are You Afraid of the Dark, when they used to throw the shit into the fire to make all the colors come,
That's what that
coffee
was.
creamer. That's coffee creamer, yeah.
Ah, yeah, because one night back when I was working the night shift, some guy had he's like, hey, you want to see something cool? He had a lighter in one hand and he had powdered coffee creamer in the other, and he's just like he dumps it out of his hand, like he's holding his lighter underneath his hand. He dumps it and he just lights his lighter, and it all just like turns into, just goes up in fire.
That's crazy.
Pretty.
Yeah, you know what? That doesn't surprise me because I remember reading that like back in the day in Europe in like old school like flour mills. They could only work during the daytime because, of course, there was no electric light, and you couldn't have candles to work at night in a flour
yeah,
mill because it
yeah.
would like
It'll
make it
explode.
explode.
Yeah, those were actually like because like the fine grain particles are extremely combustible.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen? There's a video on YouTube, kind of similar topic, but anyways, it's like a chemical plant exploding, and it's fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, like there was one in China that exploded a couple years ago.
I think that's the video I'm talking about.
Yeah, it is insane.
It's
like
insane.
That thing just fucking goes up, and I'm pretty sure like the after pictures, like there was like a mile away, and like all these cars were just like fucking burned to shit.
Burned to shit. Yeah,
it is crazy.
If you haven't seen it, Eric, you should YouTube it because it's crazy, man. It's like chemical plant exploding or something.
Yeah, like honestly, like any chemical plant you explode is fucking crazy. There was one in Texas actually, back up where I used to live. Bushland, I think is where it was. There was a plant explosion. I think I want to say 3 people died.
Jesus.
Don't quote me on that. I don't even know if it was in Bushland. Anyway, the Oregon fire.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, did you find it out or?
In September, fire in Oregon's. I'm reading this from NPR, so I don't get fined. Mm-hmm. Oregon's Columbia River Gorge burned nearly 47,000 acres.
Jesus.
They found that a teenager who was 15 at the time was playing with fireworks, and he threw them into a canyon, and that's what started the fire. Oh, my God. So the judge,
Jesus Christ.
The judge ordered him to pay $36.6 million in restitution.
So basically, he's going to have a portion of every paycheck garnished for the rest of his life.
And it says here, it says, although the judge acknowledges that the boy won't be able to pay it in full. He was also sentenced to 1,920 hours community service, 5 years probation, fire probation.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, no, just 5 years probation, fire probation. That would.
1,000 hours.
Yeah.
Of just like free labor.
Yeah. 2,000. No, Mike, it's 2,000 hours. It's 1,920. After 10 years, if the boy successfully completes probation, does not commit additional offenses, and complies with payment plans, the court can grant full or partial satisfaction on the restitution. After 10 years, he can be done with it, basically.
Okay, so if he does all his community service and pays back some token of money and keeps his nose clean, then he'll probably have it wiped.
It sounds like he was a dumb kid. He made a mistake. It sounds like he didn't do it on purpose. Maybe he did. But if he didn't, that's fucking sucks. Like, to have like the rest of your life just kind of like fucked like that because something you did when you were a kid, that sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, this is really fucking extreme. But it's happened to other places. This NPR article says in California, a 13-year-old girl responsible for starting the 2014 Cocos fire, which destroyed 36 homes, was ordered to pay only $40,000 in restitution for 36 homes.
Jesus.
That's pretty. That's getting off pretty light compared to this guy.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, 21 million goes to U.S. Forest Services, 12.5 to the Oregon Department of Transportation, 1.6 to the Oregon State Fire Marshal, and 1 million to the Union Pacific Railroad, who apparently had damaged property.
The Union Pacific Railroad.
Yeah.
That reminds me of, I don't know, well, I guess it only reminds me of it because we're talking about fires, but real quick, there's this guy in the 80s, or it was either in the 80s or the early 90s, who was the lead arson investigator for Los Angeles.
Yeah.
A guy named John Leonard Orr. And they had a bunch of really big fires in Los Angeles at like department stores and shit like that. And a lot of them were ruled as accidental, like faulty electrical systems, shit like that.
Yeah.
But this guy always insisted that it was arson. And eventually, years later, they found out that he was the one who set the fires. And after And after they arrested the guy, like for the first like month of him being in jail, the amount of brush fires in Los Angeles County decreased by 90%.
Dude, if
So this guy,
if you're getting away with it, why would you try to push them in the right direction?
the guy clearly was fucked in the head and just had this total obsession with fire.
Yeah, he was kind of like a serial killer, where he was like, I'm too smart to get caught.
He was probably getting off by telling them, and
you're right. That was probably like
that's what I was getting at with like saying like a serial killer, like I'm too smart to get caught. Fuck these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some weird people out there, man.
Man, could you imagine? 15 years old, $36 million in debt.
Yeah, you're shooting around some fucking Roman candles, and then.
Well, you know, there was one time. It also made me remember. I was a stupid teenager. Me and these two buddies of mine had a Roman candle fight in a field, and it was actually a school. Like the fucking why can't I think of the word? Like the fucking playground of the school.
Yeah.
But it was right up against a cornfield. So we're having this Roman candle fight in the fucking school, and somebody's shot went into the cornfield.
Dude, I would be aiming for the cornfield.
Well, dude, when the shot went into the cornfield, I saw smoke coming up, and I fucking flipped. I was like, my buddy, I was like, Alex! And he just looks at it and he's like, oh shit! And we just all like ran over there and stomped it out, because that could have turned out really fucking badly.
Holy shit. That reminds me of in high school. I wasn't there for it, but some buddies of mine ended up burning down a dumpster by a grocery store, and then like it was like big enough and crazy enough that like cops and police were called, and they weren't able to put it out, or like the kids weren't able to put it out, but then the police were called, and they ended up, I think they all just got a community service and stuff. I don't think they were fined or anything, but I just remember they were like, the next day they're just like, we fucked up, man. And I was like, why? What's going on? And like, we burnt down a dumpster. And I was like,
why did they do that though?
I think one of them, and this guy was fucking psycho, he did it. He was fucking around, and then like they were just there and they didn't really stop him.
Oh, so they were like guilty by association.
Yeah.
See, I have stories like that too. Like there was this one kid, his name was Billy, and for some reason, he just started a fucking fire in the dumpster. And it started fucking blazing. So me and Gabe, we got we each got like a pail of sand and just went over there and put it out. Like, the fuck what the fuck are you doing? Like, but he was like just a genuine troublemaker.
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of from a rough family, and I feel kind of bad for him, but man, he probably didn't have the greatest childhood.
I feel like everyone growing up in a small town probably has something was burnt down from some fucking kid story.
Yeah. I guess they're just fucking bored, or
right,
or budding psychopaths or something. I don't know.
Growing up where we grew up, there was either you got drunk, did drugs, or sat at home and played video games.
Yeah, like there wasn't much to do.
There was nothing to do.
Yeah, because like there was a movie theater in our hometown, and I think by the time I was like 12 or 13, it had closed.
Wow.
Because they couldn't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that was gone, and I mean, even then, like they were getting movies that were like 2 months old.
Yeah.
So you weren't even getting good movies, and they still couldn't afford that.
I remember drinking 40s at the skate park, like not even skating, just drinking.
Wow, Mike, were you drinking underage?
No, never.
Mike.
Never.
Kids listening, do not drink underage.
No.
And wait till you're 18 to smoke. And wait till whatever is legal in your country.
19 in Canada to smoke.
Yeah. Oh, 19 in Canada?
Yeah, same as the drinking age.
Really? So the U.S. is actually younger for smoking.
Yeah, U.S. is like
But
it's 18
drinking
for
is
smoking and 21 for drinking, right?
Yeah.
And here we just did 19 for both.
Okay. Just cutting it right down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense.
I guess
though,
that could be
out of high school.
I guess that could kind of be a
Yeah.
topic for next time. But I don't like the fact that like you can go out and die for your country in a war, but you can't fucking have a goddamn beer.
Or that you can make a video of a guy ramming it up your ass.
Or operate a vehicle weighing like 2,000 pounds that could kill people. And
I was like, where's Garrett talking about? And then I was like,
Yeah. Porno, Mike.
But yeah, we're hitting the 50-minute mark, so
That means we got 10 minutes to spare. Let's talk about Batman.
why Batman?
Because I'm looking at a picture of Batman right now.
Oh, what is he?
Titman.
Desktop background?
No, it was in one of the NPR things I pulled up.
There's something I don't know, reminded me, whatever. I feel like we say that all the time, but there's a Sonic game. Oh, fuck, what Sonic game is it? I want to say it's not 06, but Sonic Adventure. Oh, fuck. There's one Sonic game, and it's so cringy, but so funny. But, like, there's a scene where there's, like, it's like the president of the United States. And for some reason, on his desk, he has a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog. And it's just so stupid. Like, why would the president have a fucking picture of those fucking clowns, man?
Because they saved the United States with their Swifty boots.
Just so stupid. Not a picture of his wife or his family. His fucking anthropomorphic hedgehogs.
There was this it's like I don't know if you could call it a contest, but it's basically like it was like a thing where people would find like one line, like one like little sentence in fan fiction that just like was so fucking like either ridiculous or terrible or weird, and just like share it. And one of my favorite ones ever was just Obama chuckled. You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh my god!
Play Sonic.
Damn. That makes me wanna. That makes me want to reboot crossover.
Oh, it's like it's something to do with fucking Sonic. I don't even really know. Like, there's some important.
The Chaos Emeralds are those emeralds that you collect in like most games, and it's what turns like Sonic Super Saiyan or whatever.
Yeah, Sonic ripped off Super Saiyan. I always thought that was weird.
Yeah, it's such a blatant ripoff, and it's just like
he literally turns gold.
Yeah, like they just get away with that.
I don't know. I feel like golden is just like the prime. It's the greatest you can get is gold.
Yeah, but what else did that before Super Saiyan?
I don't know.
See, there you go.
But again, I feel like
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Turning gold, turning something gold to make it better.
Before that,
are you just saying that like turning anything to gold makes it better is a ripoff of?
Well, no, but he gets his hair goes up, it's gold, and he has like a fucking glowing aura around him.
Okay, that sounds more okay. You didn't give me all the specifics.
It's Super Saiyan.
You didn't give me all the specifics.
He goes Super Saiyan.
All right, yeah, that sounds like a ripoff. Anyway, is that it for us tonight?
I guess let's wrap this up, boys.
We just want to say next week we are not going to be here because Mike is coming to Texas for vacation.
Right in the middle of tornado season.
Why are you so sarcastic about it? Like, Jesus.
That wasn't being sarcastic.
Happy for you.
Okay.
He's clapping. Did I hear it?
But when we return, what you guys are going to do is when you're in Texas together, you're going to make a video of you guys dancing like that alien, Dame tu cosita, and you guys will post it on the channel.
Yeah, absolutely not.
We will.
And then we're gonna do some. Stay tuned for some Five Nights at Freddy's role play live stream.
Yes, that's.
What?
I forgot to mention
What
that.
the
Yeah,
fuck is that?
we're gonna do some Five Nights at Freddy's live action role plays.
On live
Gary,
stream.
you're gonna play like the security guard. Eric will be phone guy, and I'm gonna do all the voices of all the animatronics.
I'm just gonna run out immediately and lock the doors behind me. He'll never get out.
But seriously, do the Dame tu Cosita dance we'll put you guys in like a split screen, like it'll be the alien in the middle, and you guys on either side of them.
Dame tu cosita.
Okay, we're not doing that, but
We'll
write it out in Discord so I can put it in the tags, man.
Next week we'll have a Dame tu cosita dance of me and Mike.
Fuck no. Fudge, no. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Adios.